What the heck? Virgil couldn't help but explain as he stared in awe. Janice stood, almost falling, as he asked for help. Janice had always been told stories about how a species had the ability to walk the earth. He just never had the guts to try. Apparently, these land creatures were very dangerous, and risking them finding out what you are could put you in a lot of trouble. Keeping their existence a secret was the safest way to survive. His mother was a key example. She despised humans. She'd fallen in love with one once, one that she'd met when they were both just pups. But when her beloved grew into a man, he leaked her secret and almost ended up getting her killed. Nothing but selfish tyrants, she often called them, but Janice had always had a hard time seeing them as dangerous, as he watched them, always hidden away by the water, especially the small ones. Any stories his people had of dangerous humans involved the adults, not children. He'd figured that if anyone could help him experience the world, it was the human pups. The one in the algae-colored shorts, Remus was his name, went over to Janice to help him walk back to their living area. "How did you do that?" Patton asked, not sure if he should help the sea creature walk as well. "It's a legend that I've always heard as a kid," the other answered. "Never believed it was actually true. I'm just as surprised as any of you." Logan was kind of circling around the two, trying to observe this creature from all angles. "Fascinating," he muttered at the shorter boy's statement. "But there is one thing," Janice started, regaining all of the others' attention. "If the stories are true, I can't get my legs wet. Add even a little water and boom, tail." "Wow, that's something I never thought I'd say. I've legs." "No water. Got it," Patton chirped. He no longer seemed to be that tired anymore. "Actually, no. I still need water. My legs can't get wet, but I still need to stay hydrated. Dehydration is one of the most common ways for one of my kind to expire." "So how do we do that? Keep you hydrated, I mean," Virgil piped up. He felt like he was on a sci-fi movie, and at any time, government agents were going to come out of nowhere and take the creature away. Janice shrugged. "Just drinking a lot and getting wet every once in a while should be enough." Virgil hummed and nodded, looking around once more, trying to memorize the route back to the water. When they got back to the campgrounds, which Janice had assumed to be their village, a new question arose. "Where are we going to put him?" Roman asked, feeling stupid that none of them had thought about this sooner. "Well, it is most likely smarter if he stays in our cabin, since we all know about him anyway," Logan shrugged. "Plus, then we can all make sure that none of the adults find him." They all stopped in front of Remus's cabin. "What are we doing here?" Virgil asked. "I'm coming too, and I'm definitely not sleeping in my swimsuit. And I'm here to get my things and whatever, so he and I can sleep in your guys' cabin." Remus sassed back, matching Virgil's tone. Virgil backed off and slunk back next to Roman. "You guys go ahead. We'll meet you there in a bit." They nodded and the four left for their own cabin. Remus quietly led the other into the cabin. He threw his towel into his unkept bed and rummaged through his bag for clothes. "That towel must be uncomfortable. Let me get you some shorts or something," he said, looking at Janice, who was standing there, curiously looking around. He cocked his head to the side. "Shorts?" Remus shook his head and grabbed a pair of plaid pajama pants and held them out. "Here, put these on." Janice took the pants and stared at them for a second. Remus ended up having to help the water dweller put on this alien form of clothing before he quickly changed into something comfortable as well. Grabbing a couple blankets, Janice was starting to get the hang of walking, though he was still a bit tottery, so he was mostly able to walk on his own on the way to the other four his cabins. With the said others, the walk back was mostly silent. Upon arriving, the normal charade of changing clothes happened as it usually would. Patton would change in the bathroom first, and then Logan and Roman would while Virgil had his own turn. They all scoured for any extra blankets and pillows they could find. "My God, I am exhausted," Virgil huffed, stretching his back and falling onto Roman. "Once my head touches the pillow, it's going to be lights out." Patton giggled, followed by a yawn. His tiredness was apparently catching up to him once again. Logan was draped over his bed, scribbling intently in that navy hardcover notebook. A knock sounded on the door, which Logan answered. Remus paraded in with Janice, plopping his stuff in a pile on the floor. The fun has arrived, he sang in a sing-song tone. You didn't give him a shirt, Logan half scolded. I gave him some pants, and I'm letting him use some of my blankets. One of you can give him a shirt. Oh, come on, it's just a shirt, Logan shot back, obviously annoyed. While a small argument started to ensue, Virgil tugged at Roman's shirt. Can I talk to you real quick? He asked, signaling with his body language towards the back door. Sure, of course. What's wrong? Roman answered. He could tell something was up, if Virgil wanted them to talk alone, not to mention just the way he was acting when he asked. Virgil walked to the back door and outside. Roman followed after, looking back at the others and figuring they'd be fine for a few minutes. It was dark and on the back stoop, and the two of them were only lit by a dim light right above the wooden door. Roman closed the door behind them. Is there something going on? If you're feeling overwhelmed by everything that has happened today, Roman started babbling, but was interrupted by a calm and soft voice, almost too quiet for him to make out. No, it's not about that. Roman felt relieved and more nervous at the same time. Okay, Virgil was fine, and not overwhelmed, very calm. That's good, right? But what else could this be about? Why did he want to talk to me alone? Did I do something wrong? Virgil looked at Roman in the eyes and opened his mouth, but no sound came out. Look, this is really hard for me to say, so I don't know. He sighed and looked away. Though the lighting was utterly horrible, Roman was positive he saw a redness creep onto Virgil's face. This made butterflies dance within the depths of his stomach. The heck is happening right now? He could only stand and wait, finding himself speechless for the first time in forever. It's kind of hard to explain, Virgil started, not entirely sure how to word it yet. I'm not really sure what it is, and I figured if I told you, then you might have an answer for me. Roman was unintentionally holding his breath. Virgil closed his eyes and breathed slowly while thinking of what to say. Just say what you're thinking, Roman said in a soothing voice. Okay, well, when I'm near you, I'm always happy, and when you smile, it makes my entire day. Roman's heart was racing. Every time you wrap your arms around me, my stomach twists, and I feel like laughing and puking at the same time, but it's a great feeling, and I never want it to go away. Virgil stopped mid-rant and cringed at himself, looking at Roman. What are you doing to me? Tears were starting to prick his eyes. Roman took the other into a hug. Virgil was now crying, but it wasn't a sad cry, but not entirely a happy one either. Oh, my dear chemically imbalanced romance. I thought you knew you were gay. Roman chuckled, wiping away Virgil's tears. I mean, I've really only been attracted to guys, but these feelings are completely new to me. Virgil let himself stare into the teller's eyes. Roman's hand stayed on the other's face, and Virgil put his own hands over them. Their faces were inches away. It's called a crush, little emo. Yeah, I pretty much got that. They both giggled. So what does that mean? You don't seem very horrified at that breakthrough. Could it be that the feelings are mutual? Virgil asked, leaning a bit closer. What do you think? Was the response. All right, that's enough! Sounded from the other side of the thin door. Both boys jumped away at the sudden burst and looked at each other awkwardly for a moment before Roman pulled open the door. Pat, are you okay? Virgil asked. Patton was standing between Logan and Remus, with his arms out, pushing them away from each other. The father figure's face was a bright, angry red. I'll give him the bloody damn shirt. Patton grabbed a gray t-shirt a little too harshly and threw it at Janice, who was quietly cowering under Roman's bed. He didn't mean to. But he was still angry. God, he yelled while storming out. Everyone looked dumbfounded at the door after him. The heck did you two do? Virgil almost yelled. Remus and Logan looked at each other. Virgil ended up going after Patton while the others set up sleeping spots for Remus and Janice on the floor. Patton didn't look at Logan when they arrived back inside, just went straight to bed. Logan for sure noticed it and was not happy with himself, but found it pointless to push any further. Once he was sure they were all sleeping, Virgil once again crawled into Roman's bed. Took you long enough, Roman teased in a whisper, his eyes still closed. Virgil just rolled his eyes and snuggled into the taller's chest, who wrapped his arms around him. In the morning, Janice was bouncing around excitedly. "The sun is up, it's a new day, what are we gonna do?" he asked, still moving around quite a bit. "First of all," Logan yawned, stretching annoyed, "we all have to get ready for breakfast." Virgil groaned when Roman started to move to get up and retreated under the blanket. "No, don't get up. I want to sleep." Roman pulled the blanket off of him, fairly amused. "No, we can't be late, Hot Topic." Virgil hid his face by turning to the bed. "It's early, we'll be fine," he whined. The thing to finally get him out of bed was Patton cooing about how cute they were. Janice ended up borrowing another t-shirt from Patton and some shorts from Roman. Sneaking Janice into the mess hall was quite a struggle. Him wanting to talk to literally everyone they came across didn't help either. Once they were inside, Patton stayed with the creature at the table, while the others got them all food. Virgil sat down, sliding a tray of bacon and eggs at Janice's direction. He stared at it for a moment. What do I do with this?" he asked, pointing to the tray. They all looked at each other, then to him. You eat it," Logan answered. "Oh." They spent the rest of the day basically giving Janice a tour of the camp, all while avoiding the counselors and other campers. Whilst running around, they bumped into Thomas. "Oh, hey guys, what have y'all been doing? What have you all been up to?" "I haven't seen you lately," he chirped. Remus pulled Janice behind one of the cabins and covered him in a lavender curtain that was drying on a nearby clothesline. "Shh," he exclaimed, raising a finger to his lips. We're just messing around," Roman said, shrugging. The rest nodded. "Oh, look, the squirrel went that way," Virgil exclaimed and grabbed Logan's arm, toying them towards where Remus and Janice were hiding. "Distract him away from here," he mouthed to the other two. He pulled Logan behind the cabin. "We've got to get him out of here." "Having fun, I presume?" Thomas asked, looking at the other two. Patton and Roman looked at each other nervously. Patton smiled and nodded. "Yeah, we were just chasing a baby squirrel." He jumped up and exclaimed it, riding on Virgil's given excuse. Roman nodded along. "Yeah, it was so cute." Thomas laughed. "So that's where they're off to then, huh?" The two kids tried their best to look convincing. "Why not?" came from a bit behind the boys, from where their newest friend was supposedly hiding. What's that?" Thomas asked, looking concerned at the direction. Nothing," Roman said quickly. "Oh, I hope Lo and Remus aren't fighting again," Patton gasped, starting towards the other four kids. "Wait, if something's wrong, maybe I should come with—" "No!" Roman and Patton interrupted at the same time. The adult looked at them, fairly surprised. I'm sure it's not too bad. Usually I can take care of it just fine," the fatherly child managed. "Plus, it will probably be less messy if it's just me and opposed to getting you involved." "Yeah, so let's go see what's going on," Roman exclaimed, linking arms with Patton and hopping away before Thomas could ask anything more. The counselor stood there for a few minutes in utter confusion until Joan stepped up next to him. You good?" "I will never understand those three," he responded, laughing. "You can't let them see you because we'll get in trouble," Virgil explained for the 100th time when Roman and Patton joined them in their hiding place. Remus was doing his best to keep Janice from blowing their cover. With the help of Roman and convincing from Patton, Logan and Remus were able to drag the sea creature away from any other human beings. Virgil went to get some chalk to distract Janice from doing anything else risky. He was absolutely mystified by it. Patton was amused by how he reacted and took everyone being preoccupied to pull Logan aside. "Look, I know this is kind of random, but have you noticed V and Ro have been acting a little bit different the last couple days?" he asked once they were out of earshot. Logan rubbed his chin and thought. "I just thought to ask you since you're so observant." "Mind elaborating?" Logan asked. "I don't know, being flirty, always touching each other, overall just magneting towards each other," Patton shrugged. The taller smirked and nodded. "Oh, absolutely. I've noticed very many things consistent with that for a while." "Did you notice that they both disappeared last night while Remus and I were arguing?" Patton's face morphed into a gasp. "Oh my God, they did! What do you think they talked about?" Logan wasn't one to be too interested in emotions and whatnot, but he couldn't deny how adorable his boyfriend was. I'm still angry at you for that, the shorter teased. Logan could tell he was playing. Oh, I'm sorry, my dearest. How can I make it up to you? He played along. Patton giggled. We'll see, he responded, booping him on the nose and bounding back towards the others, leaving Logan standing there. Well, I'm in trouble. He shook his head and followed back towards the others. He stopped when he heard a loud snap from the woods behind him.